Emmanuel Haro, a 7-month-old baby, has not yet been found. His sudden disappearance has deeply affected not only his family, but also the wider community, who continue to hope for answers. Friends and neighbors describe him as a little boy, full of life, bringing joy to those around him. With each passing day, the uncertainty about his whereabouts grows heavier. Families are worried, investigators are working diligently, and the question remains, where is Emmanuel Haro? The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has been leading the search, providing regular updates, holding press briefings, and asking the public to remain patient. Despite these efforts, Emmanuel has still not been located. Then, just hours before an important court hearing, a new development emerged. Rebecca Haro, connected to the case, spoke to authorities. The details of her statements are being kept confidential, and shortly afterward, the hearing was postponed. No official explanation was provided, and the case was rescheduled for October 16th. This announcement has left the public surprised and searching for answers. What was expected to provide clarity has instead brought additional questions and uncertainty. Questions continue to mount. What is causing the delay in the court proceedings? Why was the hearing rescheduled shortly after new information came forward? And most importantly, how can the public stay informed and confident in the process as investigators work to uncover the facts? The disappearance of Emmanuel Haro is more than a news story. It's a reminder of how complex and sensitive these situations can be, especially when details are kept confidential and hearings are postponed. October the 16th of May bring new information, but until then, uncertainty remains. What do you think? Is the case moving forward carefully, or is progress being slowed by procedural delays? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Before we dive into today's story, kindly subscribe to our Shadow Detective channel if you believe in fighting for justice. Kindly help us reach 300 subscribers, and we believe that with energy and support, we will achieve it. Let's build this community that refuses to stay silent, to stop asking the hardest question of all, but why? Every view, every comment, and every subscriber is a stand against silence and a step toward truth for those who can't fight for themselves. Emmanuel was last seen under circumstances that quickly raised concern. His family reported him missing, and almost immediately, worry spread throughout the community. Days turned into weeks, and weeks became months, yet Emmanuel never returned home. Law enforcement launched searches, conducted interviews, and the community came together, holding vigils and hoping for answers. Despite these efforts, there has been no sign of him. During the investigation, one name emerged repeatedly: Rebecca Haro. Her connection to Emmanuel made her an important person of interest, though for a long time, she remained silent, providing very little clarity about what had occurred. Her silence only added to the uncertainty surrounding the case. Then, just before a key court hearing that many hoped would provide answers, Rebecca Haro reportedly spoke to authorities. This development could be a critical turning point in understanding the events surrounding Emmanuel's disappearance. However, rather than immediately bringing clarity, the hearing was postponed. The new date is set for October 16th. This development matters because it could provide important insights for investigators and the public. It represents a significant step in the case and could help fill in missing pieces about what happened. While answers are still pending, the situation highlights how complex and ongoing investigations can be. This case is not just about one missing baby. It is also about trust. Trust in the justice system, trust in the courts, and trust in law enforcement. Right now, that trust is being tested. After Rebecca Haro reportedly spoke to authorities, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department released an official update. On the surface, it appeared routine, a formal statement, carefully worded. However, many in the public were left with questions. The sheriff's office confirmed that the court hearing had been postponed until October 16th. They acknowledged that Rebecca Haro provided new information, but details about her statements were not shared publicly. There was no update on Emmanuel's whereabouts, whether additional evidence had been found, or why the hearing with new developments was delayed. The language used in the statement was cautious and formal. For the family still awaiting answers, and for the community following the case closely, this update offered limited clarity and left many still hoping for more information. The lack of public details has left room for questions. Why was the hearing postponed after new information was provided? How will these developments impact the investigation and the ongoing search for Emmanuel? Official updates are intended to provide clarity, but this one left many still seeking answers. As October 16th approaches, the public continues to watch closely, hoping the next steps will offer more insight. Rebecca Haro's statements to authorities marked a significant development in the case. For weeks, she shared very little with investigators, and limited information was made public, leaving Emmanuel's disappearance surrounded by uncertainty. Then, just before a key court hearing, she spoke to law enforcement. What exactly was shared has not been disclosed. Authorities have confirmed only that new information was provided, which was considered significant enough to affect the next steps in the case. Statements like these can have many meanings. They may reflect a desire to provide clarity, respond to questions from authorities, or assist with the investigation. The purpose and impact of the information will become clearer as the legal process continues and investigators review all the details. This new information has the potential to significantly affect the investigation. It is not just another detail, it could provide important insight into the events surrounding Emmanuel's disappearance. Yet, rather than immediately moving the case forward, the hearing was postponed. Questions naturally arise. Did this new information help locate Emmanuel? Did it clarify events that were previously unclear, or did it provide only part of the picture, leaving certain details unresolved? Until October 16th, those answers will remain unavailable to the public. The limited information currently shared leaves many wondering how the case will proceed and what will be revealed next. Following Rebecca Haro's statements, many had hoped the next day's court session would provide clarity. Families were seeking answers, and the community was anticipating progress. Instead, the hearing was rescheduled, with the new date set for October 16th. On paper, postponements are common. Courts often delay hearings to review new information, allow attorneys additional preparation time, or ensure that proper procedures are followed. In this instance, the timing of the delay has drawn attention because it came immediately after new developments were reported, leaving many watching closely and waiting for updates. Why was the hearing postponed after new information was provided? One possibility is procedural strategy. Prosecutors may need more time to review the statements, gather additional information, and ensure that all details are ready to be presented in court. Another possibility is that further investigation is required to clarify certain points before moving forward. For Emmanuel's family, each delay is difficult. Every day of waiting adds to the uncertainty and concern over his whereabouts. For the public, it underscores the complexity of high-profile investigations and the patience often required when courts follow proper procedures. Instead of immediate resolution, the postponement leaves the case in a state of anticipation. Updates are awaited, and as time passes, everyone involved continues to hope for progress. The disappearance of Emmanuel Haro is not only about finding a missing baby, it has become a moment that tests public confidence in the investigation. When the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirmed the new hearing date, many people were left with questions. How will the courts proceed? How are law enforcement and investigators handling the case? And what information will be revealed when the hearing resumes? For the Haro family, the delays are agonizing. They have placed their faith in the same institutions, now accused of withholding answers. Each press release, each update, feels carefully managed, controlled, and stripped of detail. And when the public feels that truth is being filtered, suspicion naturally grows. History has shown us that in high-profile cases, transparency is the key to maintaining confidence. But in this case, the silence has become deafening. Social media has erupted with theories, accusations, and anger. Some argue the system is protecting powerful interests. Others believe investigators are simply overwhelmed, afraid to expose mistakes that may have already compromised the case. What remains undeniable is this: every time law enforcement chooses silence over clarity, trust in the system erodes. And when trust erodes, justice itself is called into question. Because this is no longer just about finding Emmanuel Haro. It is about whether the very institutions meant to protect the public are still capable of telling the truth. When a case takes a sudden turn, and a confession is followed, not by progress but by delay, one question rises above all others. What are they hiding? There are three possibilities, and each one is as unsettling as the next. One possibility is that investigators are carefully reviewing all information to ensure nothing is overlooked. New details provided by Rebecca Haro may have raised additional questions that require follow-up before the case can move forward. This process ensures that the investigation is thorough and that all evidence is properly considered. Another possibility is that additional time is needed to review the case and coordinate next steps. Delays in high-profile cases can sometimes be necessary to allow investigators and legal teams to manage complex information and ensure the case proceeds according to proper procedure. A third possibility is procedural strategy. Prosecutors may be using the extra time to organize evidence, prepare testimony, or ensure that the case is fully ready to present in court. While this delay can be frustrating for the public, it may help ensure that the investigation is as complete and accurate as possible. Until the October 16th hearing, many details remain confidential. The waiting period can be challenging for the family and the community, but it also allows the legal process to continue carefully and methodically. The disappearance of Emmanuel Haro is more than just a case file or a headline. It represents a family's deep concern, a community's worry, and the challenges of managing a complex investigation. New information has been provided, but many details remain confidential. The court hearing has been postponed, leaving the public and the family awaiting further updates. October 16th is now the date many are watching closely, a day that may provide important updates or additional information. Until then, the uncertainty continues to affect Emmanuel's family and the community following the case. It is important to remember that delays in legal proceedings do not mean the investigation has stopped. Each day allows authorities to review details, ensure procedures are followed, and continue their work carefully. Transparency and thoroughness are key to building a strong case. So I ask you, what are your thoughts on the progress of this investigation? Share your perspective in the comments below, and let's continue to follow this case closely together. And if you don't want to miss a single development in this case, subscribe now and turn on notifications. I'll be watching closely, inside and outside the courtroom, to bring you the details they won't tell you. This is Shadow Detective, and together we will not stop until the truth about Emmanuel Haro is finally revealed and laid to rest.